Alright guys, today's project is going to be a fast and easy one. Frankie and I are going to rebuild the dock, and it's going to take us about 2, maybe 3 hours to do it. Story is, we got flooded out up here at the cabin a couple different times, and every time the dock sections floated away. And so my dock was rebuilt using whatever pieces and parts I could find laying around, and I think it's about time we made that right. So let's just hop right into it. We've got over 100 cuts to make to do this dock, so we only want to measure once. So Frankie builds a stop, but he has to make sure that the saw is secured as well as the stop.
Whenever you want. We want to go 46 3/4. We'll measure our first one anyway.
The stop allows us to butt our material right up to it and make one cut identical every time. We secure both the saw and the stop, that way nothing can move on us, but we will double check our measurements as we're going through and making the cuts.
So like I say, if you want to grab them, set them up. I'll push them through, because no matter how hard we hit this, everything's got to move together.
Before we start cutting them all, we check the first one to see how we're doing. I'll measure that first one.
Yep. Well, I'm 5/8. I could go here more.
After we get the first board set to the right length, it allows us to whip through the rest of them pretty fast.
I've been in the darkness for 40 days.
To speed up the process, we set a pattern. I feed them into the saw while Frankie makes sure they're tight against the fence and even against the stop, and pulls the trigger on the saw.
Searching for holy flames, a sign to light up the way. So can you help me out? Can you help me out?
And he double checks every 5 to 10 cuts just to make sure we're staying on track.
More certain of truth before.
He has to make sure that the board hits the stop and stays up tight to it, otherwise the end cuts could get off.
So can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out?
To redo this dock, I decided to go with something a little different, and I'm using Moisture Shield. It's actually a material designed for decks, but it also will never rot or deteriorate. You can actually put this underwater indefinitely without damaging it, making it almost the perfect material for the top of a deck. But it does have some drawbacks. One of the drawbacks you can see right here is that they have a lot of flex to them, so you've got to have adequate support underneath them. Another drawback is the weight, and that's something that's going to throw a monkey wrench in our plans. No, that is one of the drawbacks, is this stuff is heavier than all get out. Would you say it's twice as heavy as wood? Maybe.
I would say.
I'd say maybe even three times. I don't know. We're guessing, but I'm not concerned about the extra weight affecting the dock as much as I am about it affecting the people that have to carry the dock panels in and out every year. Let's put it this way. A 4-foot section of Moisture Shield would weigh about as much as an 8 or even 12-foot section of regular wood. And so we've got to do something to make it manageable.
Put them down right just like that. But then at fall, you'd have to take them off individually, but there'd be a lot less weight.
Are you talking about take each plank off?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Why?
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, but if you try to start carrying them,
Huh?
you start carrying them panels.
What if we made shorter panels? So Frankie comes up with the idea, instead of building panels, just to lay the individual pieces out. And at first, I want nothing to do with it because it just seems like a lot of extra work. Well, how big of a panel do we want? Because right now we've got 4-foot panels. If we're worried about weight, we could, you know, cut the panels in half. I think part of my hesitation about trying the individual pieces is I've never actually seen a dock in individual pieces before in my life, but Frankie's pretty persuasive. All right, so Frankie has convinced me not to put the dock sections together
Well, we see. Let's just see what it looks like. And,
as a panel.
okay. Like I say, if you're going to carry 4 of them off, you're carrying 6. Well, we'll basically be carrying 5 because the 4 and then half, the 2 stringers. I suppose you'll be carrying 5 boards off. What's the difference of just peeling up 4 or 5 boards? Carry them off.
Carry them off. Just peel up 4 or 5 boards, put in a pile, grab the pile, pick them up.
You don't have to worry about them warping. I mean, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense, to be honest with you, and especially as heavy as these panels are. So this, as a panel, we carry all the pieces like that, which with Moisture Shield is going to be heavy. Or we literally just peel up 4 or 5 boards, carry them like that. So at first, there was no way I was going to lay this dock out in individual boards like this, but after doing it, I don't see anything wrong with it, except for the fact that there are a few that need some specialty cuts. What are we going to use, Frankie?
Tabletop. Clean and cut straighter.
To make putting the dock in and out as easy as possible, we're going to make all of the boards that have specialty cuts permanently installed. So that means after we cut the boards, we're going to screw those in place so that every other board is basically interchangeable after that point. Satisfying.
Huh?
Satisfying. It's just kind of cool to see something like that happen. Oh, just little things like a nice clean cut like that.
I know that. I mean, it's
just cool. Where the dock transitions angles, we want to bevel that cut so it doesn't become a toe stubber.
yeah, don't you? So it skins up.
Yep. First off, I want to say this video is not sponsored by Moisture Shield. I'm actually a user that likes my experience. I've built other decks with this stuff, and one of the things I know is you cannot get slivers from using this, and that was one of the complaints we had with our old dock. Another thing is it has this thing called Cool Touch technology where it actually stays cooler to the touch than traditional wood decking. That's so beautiful. Okay, so here it is, the moment of truth. Will the 45 work? Ooh, look at that. care who you are. That right there is nice. So that one will get screwed in. So we never have to worry about that one again. Let's go see how the 4-inch one works. Dun, dun, dun. Boom. And that's as simple as that. The few specialty cuts that we have to make, we're going to secure in place. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Who's your good girl? Who's your good girl? Are you enjoying yourself? Yeah, you definitely need to be up north, don't you? We've got the main dock laid out, but we've still got a bench and a triangle section to rebuild. Although I'm not going to reuse the wood from the bench, I am going to reuse the carriage bolts, so those get saved. We're going to rebuild the bench also using moisture shield, but the original bench bottom only had 2 sections of board. We're going to install a third just to make the seating a little bit more even and comfortable. To do that, we're going to drill our own holes, then we're going to use carriage bolts to secure the boards in place. The last pieces of the puzzle going down in place, we can step back and see how everything turned out. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we got done. Total time was 3 hours. We started at 9:30 and wrapped it up by 12:30. We beveled the front edge, the toe kick right here. We screwed that one in, that way none of the boards could slide off on the ramp. They are laid in loose, that way I can pull them off. This end board also got beveled. We got that one screwed in, that way we've got, these are all secured in between the ramp here. We got our corner piece put in. The bench has been rebuilt and done. I opted to go without the armrest, those just got in the way. And pretty much, there she is. Not too bad for 3 hours of work for 2 guys. All right, and that's it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. God bless, go get them, and hit that subscribe button, the bell notification, and if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor every now and then, hit the share button on my videos. It goes a long way. See you on the next one, you guys.